Welcome to Align Christ-Centered Yoga. My name is Linda and I'll be guiding you through your practice today. I have a friend who once said to me that the loneliest he had ever been was on an aircraft carrier with thousands of other people. And sometimes when I feel loneliest, it's actually at the busiest moments of my life, when I feel like I'm just running place to place and I don't have time to connect with anyone. In the moment, our world is going through the pandemic of COVID-19, and many of us are isolated and unable to connect with people the way that we're used to connecting. And it can be very easy to feel lonely. But today I want to remind you that you are not alone, that you are never alone. Jesus tells his disciples in the final moments, the final days of his life, he says, I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate to help you and to be with you forever, the Spirit of truth. The world cannot accept him because it neither sees him nor knows him, but you know him, for he lives with you and will be in you. And Jesus also says to his disciples, just right before he ascends into heaven, at the very end, that he will be with us forever until the end of the age. Today our yoga practice will be a practice of presence. Be fully present on the mat, let go of the world around you, connect with the Holy Spirit through breath, through movement, through prayer. Come to a sitting position, elevating your hips up on a block, a blanket, any kind of prop that you have that will bring your hips up just a few inches. Move the flesh of the glutes away, find those sitting bones underneath the hips. Just begin to rock a little bit forward and back, side to side, anchor into those sitting bones. Legs can be behind you, just slightly to the side. They can be crossed in front. Wherever you are, just really feel the way that the legs have connected to the mat. Bring fingertips and thumbs together. Close your eyes. Bring your attention into the room that you're in. Noticing the sounds, the smells. And begin to let that fade away, drawing your attention to the mat. Feeling the weight of the body on the mat. Noticing any sensations in the feet or the legs. Begin to breathe a little more slowly and a little more deeply. Breathe into the lungs, the rib cage, the diaphragm muscle as you inhale. And exhale up the body. With each breath, press fingers together. So for the first breath, press your thumbs together. The second breath, your index fingers, etc. 5 breaths. As you're finished, bring your hands into a fist. Take a deep breath here. And exhale out your mouth, just opening up your palms and releasing. Draw your attention inward. What's going on in your mind, your emotions. Can you commit to being fully present for the next 50 minutes or so? Setting aside thoughts that distract. Bringing your attention back to the mat, your body, the breath, and the movement. And interlace the fingers together, bring the palms forward and then up towards the ceiling. Reach the shoulders all the way up to your ears and glide them down. Begin to just look up and look down. What's going on in your neck today? Decide on your range of motion. Be intentional about it. What feels right? No pain. As you're ready, let the hands come down to the mat, and leaving the right fingertips on the mat, bring the left arm over and reverse it. Left fingertips to the mat, right arm over. So back and forth here a few times. Connect movement with breath, guiding with breath. Next time those right fingertips come over, leave them there. Let the palm come down to the mat. Overreach a bit as those left fingertips reach beyond the edge of the mat. And then gently just draw the hips down, anchor into the hips. Draw the shoulder back, the rib cage in, and look up and down a couple of times. And today, this practice of presence, really just noticing what's going on. Be intentional. Where do you want your gaze as you settle into this stretch? Is it better up or down? The next inhale, let the arm rise up from the other direction. It's the same thing here. Settle heavy into the hips. Reach those fingertips long. Shoulder comes back. Again, look up and down. Different side, maybe different decision. Where does the gaze fall? Find the stretch with breath. The next inhale, bring the arms up. Interlace the hands behind you. Begin to just open up across the chest. Just a really light grip here. You're not pressing the hands together or anything. Just really gentle movement of the hands here. Don't try to lift the arms up too high. You're just using this as those arms reach wide, the outside edges of the mat. Open up across the chest. Fill the lungs with breath. As you're ready, release. Exhale, bring the hands in front. Find a seated cow, interlacing the hands in the opposite direction. Draw the belly in, round the back. Gently draw the right shoulder forward, lift the arm up and look underneath. Can you find a stretch in that upper back on the right side? Where is the head? Just find that place that's right for you. As you're ready, release. Take those hands behind you. This time, fingertips just lightly to that mat behind you. Again, just finding a seated cat. Lengthening through the front of the body from the pelvic floor all the way to the collarbone. Drawing the abdominals in, softening the rib cage. Opening up shoulder to shoulder. And then as you're ready, one more seated cat. Again, backs of the hands towards me. Find that cat as you exhale. Left shoulder reaches slightly forward. Arm comes slightly up. Look underneath. Can you find that stretch in the upper back? Ready, release, interlace the fingers, bring the arms all the way up and exhale them down to your side. Come off the block and bring any props that you do have up towards the front edge of the mat. Meet me in table. Wrists are directly underneath the shoulders, elbows are turned in, shoulders are externally rotated, knees underneath hips. Begin to draw a circle with your hips, drawing the hips all the way over to the left and around. And 2 more circles here. Just notice the sensations in the shins as they connect to the mat, in the knees, in the hips, maybe in the back. As you're ready, go the other direction. If there's any tenderness in the knees or the legs, go ahead and put a blanket underneath or some kind of padding underneath those legs. As you're ready, just meet me at center. Inhaling, come up into a kneeling mountain. As the arms rise, go ahead and move the hands around, rotate the wrists and the fingers. Exhaling, hands come down to your side and then press forward as you draw into child's pose, hips to heels. Inhale up, kneeling mountain. Exhale, child. One more time. Stay in child this time. Again, noticing how the body is connected to the mat. Feel the weight of the forearms and the shins on the mat pressing down. Feel the hands and the feet. Support the head on a prop or on the mat and begin to massage out the forehead from one side to the other. You are not alone. As you're ready, settle at center. Find 2 breaths. Create a little more space in the back of the body. On that next inhale, come up into kneeling mountain. Bring hands to heart and bring the right leg forward into lunge. Take the hands down to either side of that foot, maybe in fists if you want to release a little pressure on the wrists. Curl the toes under in the back and just drop and lift that back knee. 2 more times here. As you're ready, let that back knee stay down, top of the foot to the mat. Sweep the arms all the way up. Hands in prayer, come down to the center, rise up and come into a back bend. Stay here for a breath. Exhale, hands to either side of the foot, curl the toes under and the back, raise the back leg, bring the front leg to the back, find plank. Stay in plank for 2 breaths. And then as you're ready, let the knees come down. In grasshopper or low plank, come down to the mat. And come in and out of Sphinx pose. Just bring those forearms to the side of the mat. Pressing the forearms down, let the collarbone rise. In and out of Sphinx 2 more times. Can you press down on the mat with the hands, the forearms, the legs, and the feet? As you exhale, release, hands to the rib cage, draw back to child. Inhale, rise back up into that kneeling mountain. Hands to heart in prayer. This time the left leg comes forward. Find your balance. Those arms all the way up into the back bend. Exhale, hands to either side of the foot, curling the toes under, lift and lower that back leg. Two more times here. Just a little tap of the knee. And as you're ready, that back knee drops one more time, hands come up. This time find the back bend with wide arms. Can you find a stretch in the front of the hip? Can you open up a little wider across the shoulders? Exhale, hands to either side of the foot, curl the toes under in the back, and this time just hop that back foot up to meet the front. First forward fold, knees deeply bent, head down. Shake your head out, no. And shaking your head out, yes, release any remaining tension in the neck as the head grows heavy. Begin to lift and lower the hips. And as you're ready, just let those hips rise to wherever there's just a hint of tension in the hamstrings, and there's release in the back. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhaling down, press through your feet, come all the way up to mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart. Stay here for a breath, feeling the way that the feet are connected into the mat. Feeling the lines of the bodies, ankles to knees, knees to hips, hips to shoulders, shoulders to ear. Arms come down, deep breath in, find a back bend. And then exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees as much as is right for you. Hands to shins, come up halfway. Exhale down. One leg back and then the other. Find your plank. This time just go directly into downward facing dog. So find this first downward facing dog. Bend the knees. Press the thighs to that wall behind you. One more time, bend the knees. Thighs press back. Pedal through the feet, move the hips. On the next inhale, heels rise. At the next exhale, heels come back down. Breathe in and out. Find your breath and find the pose with breath. On the next inhale, the right leg rises high. Gaze comes forward. Foot comes through the hands. Hands to either side of the foot, or maybe using props at the base of the toes. Begin to straighten and bend the front leg. Again, finding a stretch in the hamstrings behind the thigh. Settle into the stretch that's right for you. No struggle, no shaking. That knee is bent as much or as little is right for you. Again, shake the head out. Release the tension in the neck. Maybe drop that back hip down a bit. All 10 toes face forward. As you're ready, bend that front knee. As the gaze comes forward, bring the back leg up. Bring this foot to the sky. Look behind your front leg and find balance. Needle pose. So maybe you can stay here and hold on to that ankle with one hand. Maybe the other hand. Maybe both, maybe not. Every day is different. Wobbles are okay. As you're ready, exhale, just bring that back foot up to meet the front. Bend the knees, rise up into chair pose. So the hips are dropped. Again, how are the feet connected? Can you roll a little bit forward, feel the balls of the feet, roll a little bit back, feel the heels. Lift the toes. Notice the pelvic floor engages, the toes lift. Can you bring the toes down and settle fully into both feet? Rise up, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, come up halfway. Exhale down, one leg back and then the other, find plank. From plank, come through your flow. If you're in grasshopper, keep the chest a few inches above the mat. Come all the way through. Exhale your way back to child. And meet me in downward facing dog. And the next inhale, let the left leg rise high. Gaze comes forward, engage the abdominals. Use that crunch to bring the foot through the hands. If it doesn't get there all the way, just pick it up and move it. Again, maybe bringing props behind the toes. And to straighten and bend that front leg. Back and forth here. As you're ready, extend through the front leg, drop the hip, let the hip come down. Where else can you release tension right now? Maybe you can relax the muscles of the face a little bit more. The forehead, the cheeks, the jaw. The next inhale, that front knee comes over the ankle, props out of the way. The back leg will rise, the gaze will come behind you. Again, check balance. As you're ready, draw the belly in, bring that back foot to meet the front, drop the hips, rise up into chair. From chair pose, rise up into mountain. Staying in mountain pose. Again, rock a little bit forward to the balls of the feet, a little bit back to the heels. Find that place where you are equally on the front and back of the foot, toes pressing down. Holding on to that left wrist, bring the arms up and over, find your stretch. Can you press down into that left foot? Draw the ribs in and back. And are you looking down or up? As you're ready, release. Take those hands behind you, interlacing the fingers. So again, as you interlace the fingers, open up across the chest. Deep breath in. Arms rise high. This time hold on to the right wrist. Again, up and over, using the muscles of the internal obliques at the waist to move you. Pressing through that right foot. Breathe in, breathe out. As you're ready, release. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, come up halfway. Exhale down, one leg back and then the other, find plank. Engage through the abdominals for 2 breaths. Find the flow of your choice. Find your back bend. Come back through child. And meet me in downward facing dog. Three breaths here. How has downward facing dog shifted since you started? Pressing forward with your hands, pulling back with your feet. On that next inhale, right leg rises high. Gaze comes forward, foot comes all the way through the hands. Rise up into lunge. Find this nice tall lunge. Upper body rising up and out of the hips. Front shin reaching towards the front edge of the mat. Back thigh reaching towards the ceiling. Right hand to the small of the back. Reach that left arm up, up, up. And then exhale across. Find the traction as that arm presses against the outside of the leg. Deep breath here. And one more breath. As you're ready, release. Interlace the fingers behind you, and if that doesn't work for you, you can just hold on to those elbows. Let the body come up and over that leg. The head come down. Find your balance and stay here. One more breath here. Release. Let the arms come all the way down and up into lunge. Hands to heart. Press the hands together as you engage the muscles of the upper back. Find a focal point in front. Weight goes into that front foot. Back knee comes up. And then imagine that you're pressing your foot down to an imaginary block in front of you. One more breath here. Release and let the foot come down. Take a breath, check in. Notice the sensations in the right side of the body compared to the left. Deep breath in, arms rise high to mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale down. Find your plank. And from plank, come through the flow of your choice. And finally, work your way to downward facing dog. Take your time. Again, feel the connection to your mat. Notice what's going on in your body. And remember that even in this moment, Jesus is with you. The Spirit alive and moving, guiding, encouraging, affirming, loving. Left leg rises high. Gaze comes forward, foot comes all the way through the hands. Deep breath in, arms rise. Let the upper body grow long. Front knee over the top ankle, over the front ankle, that back leg reaching up to the sky. Imagine the inner thighs pulling towards the center of the mat and up towards the pelvic floor. And just finding twist. Left hand to the mat, right arm comes across, deep breath in. Exhale. Find your twist. Use the traction of the arm against the leg, use the breath as the muscles wrap around towards the spine. You're ready, release, hands to heart. Take the hands behind, interlacing the fingers in the awkward way this time. Again, maybe holding onto the elbows. Hinge at the hip. How much length can you find in the body? And then fold over. Find your balance. As you're ready, release. Let those arms come all the way up. Rise up, hands to heart. Stepping into the back foot, front knee comes up. Press the foot down into that imaginary block. Press the hands together. And bring the foot down, mountain pose. Take 3 breaths here, check in. Can you feel the beating of your heart? Can you feel any of the energy sensations in the body? Notice the lines of the body. Next breath in, arms rise, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, rise up halfway, exhale down. Find your plank. Stay in plank for 2 breaths. And as you're ready, down, find your back bend, come through child, drawing back with those abs, hips to heels, and meeting me in downward facing dog. Take 2 more breaths here in downward facing dog. Can you engage the muscles of the legs just a little bit more? Can you soften that rib cage anymore? Right leg rises high, gaze comes through the hands, back foot comes to warrior 1 stance. So angle that foot towards the outside edge of the mat, heel towards the back of the mat. Deep breath in, rise high. Find your warrior, hips are facing forward, hands to heart. Coming from here into a twist. So perhaps keeping your twist high. If you think it would work well for you, hinging at the hips, coming forward. Twisting from here as the body is parallel to the floor, anchoring that elbow to the outside edge of the thigh. Options for the wrist, maybe the hands are together, feeling the connection of the fingers, the palms, the heels of the hand. Maybe it's better for your wrist for that bottom arm to be in a fist, top hands just soft over the bottom hand. 1 more breath here. You're ready, release. Hands come down between the leg, all the way up, hands to heart. And this time coming into warrior 3. So take those hands down to your hips, press into that front foot. Back foot comes to the center of the mat and floats up, flexing the foot. Body and leg parallel to the floor. Wobbles are okay. Maybe the arms reach forward. Maybe hands to heart. Back leg comes through the front, knee rises. Step into that imaginary platform. Foot comes down. Breathe in, breathe out. Notice the length of the right side of the body compared to the left. Deep breath in, arms rise high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale, come down. Find your plank. Breathe in and out of plank. 2 breaths here. Again, come through the flow of your choice, whatever that is today. Maybe you just go directly into child or directly into downward facing dog. And as you're ready, meet me in either child or downward facing dog. And stay there for 3 breaths. And that next inhale, left leg rises high. Gaze comes forward, foot comes all the way through the hands. Back foot moves to warrior 1. Hips parallel to the front edge of the mat. Sweep the arms up, arms rise high. Breathe. Pressing through the outside edge of the back foot, through the ball of the foot in the front. Hands to heart. Which twist is best for you on this side? Maybe staying high, maybe hinging forward. Either way, exhaling into that twist. Finding the support with the connection of the hand or the elbow to the body. Being intentional about the direction of your gaze. What happens to the twist if the inner thighs draw towards each other? As you're ready, release, come to center, arms come down and then up, body rises. Hands to heart. Find warrior 3, hands come down towards the hips. Weight comes into that front leg, back leg comes to the middle of the mat, flexing the foot. Back leg rises up, body comes parallel to the floor. Feel that front foot pressing down as the body rises up. Feel the forehead reaching, or the top of the head, the crown of the head reaching forward, the heel reaching back. And then as you're ready, rise up. Knee comes up and through, that right knee rising, pressing the foot down into that imaginary step. Shaking is okay here. Exhaling, mountain pose. Take 3 breaths here. Exhale, release. Shake out the hands. Feet hip width apart. Meet me in tree pose. So step into the right foot. Bring that left foot just underneath the knee as the arms come out. Reaching fingers out as wide as you can, drawing the belly in. Gaze forward. Find your focal point. Maybe the foot comes up. Pressing the foot into the thigh or the calf muscle, but never on the knee. Keep the foot away from the joint. Go ahead and bring that right hand in at the heart. Left arm in at the heart. Interlace the fingers, palms out. Arms rise. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you bend down towards that leg. Okay, so just coming to the side. And release, hands to heart. Step out of tree and shake everything out. Go ahead and rotate through the ankle of that supporting leg. And switch, supporting leg now on the left. Right leg comes just below the knee. Start here. Find the center of gravity. Arms reach out side to side. Top of the head rises tall. Maybe that foot comes above the knee, not on top of it. Maybe left hand comes into the heart, right arm, interlacing fingers awkwardly, palms forward, arms rise, and just play with it. Maybe come over to the side, maybe not. And as you're ready, release, hands to heart. Shake everything out. Deep breath in, arms rise high. Exhale, final forward fold. Hands to shins, let the body rise up halfway. Exhale down. Breathe in, breathe out. Find length up and down the spine. As you're ready, one leg back and then the other. Find plank. And as you're ready, knees to the mat, child to table 3 times. As you're ready, stay in child. Forearms heavy to the mat, forehead supported either on a prop or on the mat. Let those hips reach as far back and as far down as is right for you. If you don't have a lot of mobility here, it can actually help to have a blanket or a towel right behind your knees, just to give your knees a little bit of a break in this pose. Stay here for 3 more breaths. And as you're ready, press into the hands and rise up. Come back to a seated position, bring the feet forward. Heels up, just drop the knees side to side. As you're ready, bring the feet towards the center, hands underneath the legs, find seated cat to seated cow. And one more time. And as you're ready, come down to the mat. Go ahead and keep the blocks out of the way. Arms out to the side, knees parallel to the floor. Go ahead and bring your knees over to the right, about 2/3 of the way over, up and over to the left, 2/3 of the way over. So guide first with breath, and then with the muscles of the abdominals, the oblique muscles, the oblique muscles as they wrap around towards the spine. And turn your head opposite the direction of the twist. So can you control the twist? Can you feel the massage of the back as you roll over? Next time you come over to the right, let the legs come down and just notice where you land. So without changing anything, are both of your shoulder blades on the mat? Are your knees equal with each other? Are your hips stacked? Just notice. And then begin to gently draw both shoulder blades down to the mat. So that might shift the twist a bit. If this top knee is a good distance away from the bottom knee, maybe use that opposite hand, that right hand, to begin to guide that knee towards the bottom knee. Not too much. Keep the shoulder blade down. What twist is right for you? What happens if you take that extended arm and bring it into cactus? Does that change the stretch for you? Which is best for you, arm extended or arm in cactus? How does your breath change the pose? As you're ready, draw the belly in, gently come up to center. Knees together, hands to the knees. Gently just bring the knees into the rib cage and away a few times here. Just restoring a more neutral position of the spine. And then arms out to the side, shins parallel to the floor. Gently roll over all the way over to your left. Again, just noticing where you naturally go. Are your shoulder blades connected? Is that top knee even with the bottom knee? Which way are you looking? Begin to connect that top shoulder blade. Let the twist change. Just bring that shoulder blade down. If you think it will help the stretch, maybe bring that bottom knee a little bit closer to that top knee. What happens if you engage the abdominals and draw them in a bit more? Can you look opposite the legs? And is this extended arm better extended or in cactus? What's best for you on this side? As you're ready, draw the belly in. Gently bring the legs up to center. Again, hands to knees. Just gently bring the knees in and out. Bring the feet down to the mat. This time, cross the right leg over the left. Take all the space out in between the legs. Again, arms out to the side or in cactus. Slowly bring the legs over to the right. So you are moving in the direction of that top knee. Head looking the opposite direction. Shoulder blades stay anchored to the mat. Maybe it feels good to support the twist with a prop underneath the legs. Where do you feel the stretch? How can you soften this pose? As you're ready to draw the belly in, come back to center. Unwind the legs again, gently drawing knees into the rib cage and away a couple of times. And this time the right knee comes down, the left leg comes over, arms out to the side or in cactus, gently moving both knees over to the left, gaze to the right. Go slow. Find that sweet spot. How is the twist different on this side? Two more breaths here. As you're ready, draw the belly in, slowly bring the leg back up. This time, bring both knees in, rock side to side. And imagine that it is Jesus himself giving you this hug. Holding on tightly to you, reminding you that it is okay to trust and release. You're not alone. Meet me in center. Hands to the rib cage. Circle the knees on the ceiling this time, massaging out any remaining tension in your lower back. And as you're ready, go the other direction. Gently draw the knees into the rib cage and away, back and forth here 2 more times. And as you're ready, extend your legs long. Let the hands come up, reach the hands as high as you can, palms facing in, arms long, and keeping the arms long and extended, thump the shoulders to the mat and do that twice more. Shoulder blades connected to the mat, bring the hands down to the hips. Arms long, turn the palms up, thumbs to the outside, and just opening up across the chest. Where have you created space today? How have you felt the Holy Spirit encourage you? How have you felt the presence of the Lord? the book Jesus Calling, written by Sarah Young and written as if from God to you. I am God with you for all time and throughout eternity. Don't let the familiarity of that concept numb its impact on your consciousness. My perpetual presence with you can be a continual source of joy, springing up and flowing out in streams of abundant life. Let your mind reverberate with the meaning of my names: Jesus, the Lord saves, and Immanuel, God with us. Strive to remain conscious of my presence even in your busiest moments. Talk with me about whatever delights you, whatever upsets you, whatever is on your mind. These tiny steps of daily discipline, taken one after the other, will keep you close to me on the path of life. Slowly and gently bring yourself back to this time and this place. Reconnect to your breath. Feel the way that your body is settled on the mat. Slowly begin to bring movement back. Wiggle fingers and toes. Rotate wrists and ankles. Turn your head side to side. Taking a deep breath in, bring those arms up and overhead and just reach and reach and reach and reach. Find as much length as you possibly can and then draw the knees in. And slowly roll over onto one side, supporting your head with your arm. Stay there for 3 breaths. As you're ready, come up to a seated position. Find your sitting bones again. Cross those legs comfortably in front of you. Notice what has changed, body, mind, and spirit. Notice also what has stayed the same. On that next inhale, draw arms up and overhead, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Bowing your head and joining me in prayer. Holy God, it is so easy to feel lost and alone in this world. Thank you for this reminder of your presence. Thank you that your spirit is always with us. Your word reminds us of your faithfulness. Your people remind us of your love. God, as we go forth from this place, may we remind others of your love, taking away their loneliness, helping them to find you. It is in the name of Jesus the Christ that we pray. Amen. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today.